Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Fran, I'm from Venezuela, and today we're going to be reacting to a video that looks very interesting. It's called 25 Things That Only Happen in Australia. I don't know how different they are from other places in the world. So I'm excited. Let's check it out, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. So, let's hit play.
G'day, mate.
I love Australian accent.
I'm reading you from the land down under, where people pay with plastic money. Some fish are over 300 million years old, and cockroach racing is a big deal. You better listen up, or else my friend, the
cockroaches are the worst insect in the world. They're disgusting. They're terrible. I hate them.
Bear will find you, if only it were real.
A baby koala.
To get an idea of how huge Australia is, just imagine this. There's a cattle ranch called Anna Creek Station that's bigger than Israel.
Well, that's
an area of 5,851,000 acres. It's the largest working cattle ranch
in the world. It's a cattle ranch.
And it's 7 times larger than America's biggest, located in Texas.
And Texas is already huge.
You might have seen a lot of weird eBay listings, but one guy from Australia out-weirded them all. In 2006, he tried to sell New Zealand at a starting price of less than a cent.
Why? How come? Okay, so hold on. Like, what gives you the right to sell a country? What is this? And besides, New Zealand, it's not even. I know it's the same continent, but it's not the same. It's not even the same country. What is this?
Price reached $2,100 with 22 bidders.
And why would people I want to own a country?
They explained that a nation of 5 million was
it's not for sale.
Number 3.
What? So random.
If you're over 18 years old, then you're legally old enough to vote in Australia. But missing a vote without a good reason will cost you anywhere from $20 to $50. 20 is for first-timers, and if you do it...
Okay, so I think that's actually a pretty good, I don't think that's a bad rule or a bad, by law. It's not a bad law, I think, because, people, you should vote. I think a lot of people don't do it because they're they have their own reasons, but it's your constitutional right. You should definitely go ahead and vote. And I love the fact that if you don't really do it, we're gonna fine you. But it's a fine for first timers. So I mean, you can get away with it the first time if you don't really want. I'm willing to pay. Okay, cool. But then if you do it again, if you're a recurrent offender, then it's gonna cost you even more.
And it rises to 50. If you refuse to pay the fine, be prepared to say goodbye
oh my God,
to your driver's
they take away your driver's license.
Number 4. What does the city
look like to you? That tells me that everyone in Australia, they vote. I love it. I want to see how many people actually pay the fine. They don't care, and they're no, I refuse to vote. I don't care. I'm gonna pay. How many people actually do pay the fine? Because otherwise they I don't want to vote. It's I know it's my thing. It's my own principle. I won't vote. And they I'm gonna pay. I want to see the statistics and see how many people actually do just pay because they refuse to vote.
In fact, the architect who designed it was inspired when eating an orange. If
you know what?
The segments,
it actually does look like an orange.
Sphere. Danish architect Jorn Utzon
it does look like an orange.
To see his masterpiece completed since he
I think it's the layers.
When financing was suspended after 9 years.
Oh my God, 9 years! Imagine spending so long in a project and then never see it completed. I've spent 9 years of my life in this, and then I can't. I'm never gonna see it completed. That must suck.
Sculptures across the country.
Random
statues of mushrooms, acorns, ants, boxing crocodiles.
Okay, I want to see the acorn. I want to see. Oh, there's a huge banana. As a fun fact, in my country we have a huge sculpture of a giant mango in one city, and it's called the mango. The city is famous because it has a giant mango when you enter the town. So I love random sculptures, and we also have a cacao bean. I love it. This stuff is great. You know what actually I really love, and I'm starting to see more, there's like these places, like they sell ice cream, for instance, and they have like this giant ice cream cone sculpture. I love it. Or like fries. I've also been seeing more of that. It's like a restaurant and it has like a huge sculpture of like fries. I love it. I love them. They're so funny.
Tourists. It's hard to resist the temptation of a giant cheese
Yeah, you
statue
want
that
to.
was
You're
made
free. You
for
want to. You
selfies,
want
you
to take a
know.
picture.
Some people even deliberately go on road trips
Oh
to
yeah.
take pictures of all the big things of Australia, as they're called.
Yeah, that would be
Number
super
6.
fun. I want to see
Normally,
someone that
road signs
documented
give
the whole
you
process.
precautions or inform you about something. In Australia, some roads are so long and boring that they put signs there to entertain drivers.
Oh, that's
They
so
can contain
funny.
images of rich local fauna or trivia questions to keep you
Trivia
alert
questions.
and
Okay,
possibly
cool. In
even
road
save
trips.
your life
Don't fall
in
asleep.
the fatigue zone. Number 7. What could be even better than trivia at saving your life? A seatbelt, of course. In 1970, the Australian state of Victoria became the first on the planet to introduce the compulsory seatbelt law for
Oh.
drivers and front seat passengers.
I don't know why I thought
Number 8.
that was
Americans were
probably
the first to
something that, because in the 70s, and it was the first like in the first place that by law should have seatbelts. I would think that, like, what people didn't really do that before. That's so weird. I think they actually took a very long time. Like the world took a very long time to introduce it as a mandatory thing.
and the UGG brand.
Oh, the
But the legendary
Uggs.
boots actually come from
Oh, they're
Australia.
Australian.
Farmers
That's
and
so
peasants have been
interesting.
wearing sheepskin turned inside out as boots since the beginning of the 20th century. The locals call them very ugly boots and wear them both outside
Very
and
ugly
inside.
boots.
Why
Okay.
inside? Because when it's cold outside, the houses are really cold too. So Uggs can help you keep
Oh,
warm.
I love it. Very ugly
Number
boots. They actually
9.
are quite
Since
ugly. I don't care what
1988,
anyone says
Australian money
and
has
how
been
famous
made
they
out
are.
of polymer, a special kind of plastic. Australia was the first country in the
How come it's made out of plastic?
world to introduce plastic money. It's more practical since it stays in good condition for a longer time than paper banknotes.
Oh, well,
One cool fact
yeah, I
about
mean, they
plastic
do.
bills
They
here.
they are onto something. I mean, yeah, sure, we should all use less plastic, but they do have a point because obviously, like, money itself, like paper, it disintegrates so fast. Like, it's not something durable. So, they are maybe onto something. Although, obviously, it sounds very weird. Like, it's your money made out of plastic? Just use cards. Why? What?
Is that if you tear a $10 bill in two parts, you can use each half as a $5 bill.
Okay, I actually love it. I don't know why you would do that, but maybe if you're like in a hurry and you're in an emergency and you need like $5 bills separate and you're just like, give me a pair of scissors, I'm gonna cut this off. What? I mean, it's very, I guess, practical. That like, why do people actually do that? I mean, it's like you can, but how many people actually do it in their daily life? Weird, but okay,
Australia
cool.
is such a great place to be that at least 70 tourists overstay their visas every week.
Yeah,
According
everyone
the
wants to move to
Australian Department
Australia.
of Home Affairs, there are at least 62,000 people who came to the country for a vacation
And they just stay there.
stayed
Oh my
forever.
god, that's a lot. So
It might
Australia
be
is like a
really good
wonderful
salaries
place
and
to
social
live. Yeah.
support, the striking beauty of the country, or something in
So
the water
yeah,
that
someone
makes
if
them
someone
choose
tells you that they're
Australia
visiting
over their home
Australia
countries.
and like I'm going on a vacation,
Number
don't
11.
believe them. They're
In
gonna stay there.
Australia,
They're gonna love
rent
it.
a grandma services are pretty popular. What's the difference between a regular nanny and a professional grandma? The first will take care of your kids, and the second will take care of everything in your household, just like a real grandma would. They
Okay.
babysit, pet sit, cook like chefs, help arranging events, and can even be your personal
Oh
assistants.
wow.
And they come with a 60-day guarantee period.
60-day
So
guarantee?
if something goes
You're just
wrong,
gonna
you can get another grandma.
A grandma.
Number 12.
That's yeah.
The
So
super
like
famous-
like a housekeeper and a nanny in one. So like I actually like shout out to grandmas and grandpas. Like they do a lot of work if even if you don't like hire them. People that actually do have their grandparents in their lives and they do a lot of things around the house. Like they offer a lot of help. Like yeah, grandpas and grandparents are awesome. I love the fact you can just like hire them.
Australian-
Like I don't have one in my life or maybe they live far away. I need a grandma in my life.
Name Kylie comes from the name of an Aboriginal Noongar hunting stick. something like a
Oh,
bulldog.
yeah,
It became
that's the
popular in
the
the
famous thing.
1970s thanks to local writer Kylie Tennant, who was actually called Kathleen but used her childhood
Kylie.
nickname Kylie as her pen name. By the way, the most popular girl's name in Australia for the last 3 years is Charlotte,
Charlotte.
inspired by
Of
the
the
daughter
princess,
of Prince
yeah.
William.
Princess Charlotte.
Number 13. Australia is home to the longest golf course on the planet. Nullarbor
Wow.
Links
And
is an
golf
18-hole
courses
par 72
are very
golf
long,
course
like by
that's
nature. Oh my
850
god.
miles long.
So do people
It
have like
stretches across
stretches
the
of
two
water?
Southern
Like, can you
coast
take
states
breaks?
and was opened in 2009.
How long does
Number
it take
14.
you to complete
The
this?
first
Like,
police force
what?
down
It takes you
under
like, I'm going by, I'm playing golf. Like, I'll see you in 3 weeks.
was made up entirely of convicts.
Oh,
In
okay.
1788, Governor Arthur Phillip decided the country needed someone to help fight the growing crime. So he created the Night Watch.
The Night
12
Watch, like
the
Game of
best-behaved
Thrones.
convicts were selected to patrol the settlement. A few other convicts became members of the Sydney Foot Police. And in 30 years, there were over 60
I wanna
constables
hold
in
on.
Sydney.
I just want to take a break and see the irony that the police force is made up of convicts, former convicts. Like, so ironic.
Most of them previous convicts.
It's so funny, like,
15.
and besides,
a
like,
fun
I'm
incident
gonna
at the
be thinking, like, who, like, police, like, who could be a good policeman? Well, former convicts, you know, who, like, I mean, and not former, actual convicts, because I guess they couldn't really keep jobs. I guess that was their logic. Like, they can't really keep like other jobs, so like, why not police? Like, that's so, but you know, so weird. Like, a policeman is gonna, a police that is a convict is going to arrest you. Like, what?
Ceremony of the Sydney Harbour Bridge in 1932. Francis de Groot, who was a retired cavalry officer, decided to steal the show and slice through the ceremonial ribbon with his sword before the New
he's
South
quite
Wales
dramatic.
Premier Jack Lang. As a result, de Groot was charged for the damaged ribbon, which had to be retied, and the poor guy was taken to
Oh
a
my god.
mental
Okay,
hospital.
like, I think
Number 16.
it's quite excessive.
The
Like,
Australian
you don't need to
national
put him in a
soccer
mental
team set a
hospital.
world
He
record
just
in
was feeling
2001
dramatic.
when it beat American Samoa 31-0. It was the 2002 FIFA World Cup
Wow.
qualifying game and brought the Aussies the largest ever
In the
victory
world,
in
yeah.
an international football match.
Yeah, because
17.
I don't know, it's people, I don't want to be mean, but like, were they asleep? What happens, because I know there's very I remember a Brazil and Germany match where they had, like, it was like 7-1, I think, or 7-0. No, I think it was 7-1. And you can see, like, their faces, they're completely, like, demoralized. They just, like, I don't want to keep playing. And you still have, like, 30 minutes left. And you're like, I just, like, end the game. Please, like, please end this. So, like, and that was just 7-1. I can't only imagine how much, like, those poor people, like, 31, like, you see the score, like, oh my god, like, just please take us out of our misery.
Even though it's really easy to find kangaroo meat
Oh my
in
god,
supermarkets
kangaroo
and
meat.
restaurants across the country,
And on
it's
restaurants?
not what Australians eat all
Oh my
the
god,
time.
yeah, I
despite
would
the
hope
common
not. I hope
stereotype.
not.
In fact, around 3,300 tons of it, or 70%
It's
of
probably
the product,
exported,
is
yeah.
exported to 60 countries around the world. And you can stick that fact in your
I don't know,
pouch.
I hate that. Poor
Number 18.
kangaroos.
The wombat
Oh, I
is the
love
only
wombats.
animal in
They're
the
so
world
cute.
that has cube-shaped poo.
Oh, it's
Some
cute.
experts believe it's used to mark territory since it doesn't roll away.
Ow.
Others believe it's because
See?
of the dry environment
Nature,
they live in.
it's perfect.
I think it's because it might have a square-shaped colon, but what do I know?
They're so adorable.
19. In Australia, you can find the only living specimen from the Triassic period, over
It's a
350
dinosaur?
million years ago. It's the lungfish, the only fish that can breathe air with a single lung.
Oh, they're
in
very
dry
funny
periods
looking.
when there isn't enough water in the streams. It hasn't changed much in the last 100
I love it. It looks like something out of a...
Kind of like
Yeah.
Number 20.
No, but it looks very antique. That would be the word. It looks very old. It looks something that hasn't evolved. It definitely it looks like something that hasn't evolved in like it's a long, long time. It's I don't know how many years. They definitely look like it.
Just a tale for tourists. The predatory, huge
Oh, they're
version
so
of the koala
adorable.
won't attack you during your journey, so you don't have to put a fork in your hair, spread Vegemite behind your ears,
But
or
Vegemite
speak
behind
with
my
an
ears?
Australian accent. All of these tips are believed to help scare the
Of
monster
course,
away.
yeah, sure. I'm gonna be
21.
like G-Day
In
mates,
1979,
and what's no, I think they do say a little mate, a nar, and Vegemite, the whole like salty. I think it's very salty. The things like a jam, like a salty jam. That's Vegemite, right? It's something that's very salty, and you put on bread, and it's black, and it looks weird.
the town of Esperance in Western Australia fined NASA $400 for littering in a public park. Debris from the orbital space station Skylab happened to land there. NASA refused to pay the fine for over 30
They
years.
didn't pay. See, like that's what I mean. It's on principle because of course they can pay. It's NASA, but they're like, no, we're not gonna pay. It's the principle. It's not the amount of money. It's the principle. And that also reminds me of that film, Gravity. I don't want to spoil, but like if you know where when the ship lands. It's something like that.
New South Wales that's been burning for over 5,500 years. It's a coal fire hidden 100 feet beneath Mount Wingan. Wingan is what the Aborigines call fire,
like the Wingo?
and they used it for cooking, warmth, and so on.
Oh.
23.
But wait, so I want to know more. Like, is it a volcano? Like, what? That's so weird, but impressive. How do they keep it like
World
going?
Championship takes place in Brisbane.
No, I can't.
The first
This is
one
so
took place in
disgusting.
1982,
Like, ugh.
and ever since, it's become a big hit. If you ever decide to take part in it, you can either bring your own roach or buy one directly at the event venue.
So I have questions. If I want to buy one and like, oh, what do you do? Like, imagine asking someone like, what do you do like for work? And they're like, oh, well, I sell cockroaches. Okay, so you would say like, I want to know more, or you would be like, actually, I don't think I know. I don't want to know. Just like leave it at that, because like it's so weird. Like. Do they trap it? Like, I'm gonna like go to a place that has a lot of garbage. I'm gonna like have a little jar, and I'm gonna like grab the cockroaches and trap them, and then I'm gonna sell them. And do they like, is there a grade that like standard A cockroaches, and maybe there's some that are like not very good, so maybe like they're B or C, and how do they classify them? And like, or do they all just cost the same? They're like, no, all cockroaches are created equal. and where do they keep it? And what do cockroaches eat? Like if you keep them in jars because you want to sell them, so you have to like, you have to take care of them. What do they eat? Like, do you just put whatever, like a piece of lettuce in their little jar? Do they drink water? Like, I'd be so like stressed. Like, I have to take care of this cockroach.
Australians tend to invent nicknames for everything. Aussie,
Aussie,
which is short for
yeah,
Australian. Brissy is Brisbane.
Brizzy.
Footy is football. G'day is
G'day.
good day. Arvo is afternoon.
Arvo.
And Barbie is barbecue.
Bobby.
Keep in mind when you visit Straya. Yeah, that's what they call their own country.
I love them.
25.
They're so creative.
Australia could have been Dutch.
Could have been
Dutchman
Dutch.
Abel Tasman discovered Australia in 1642.
Tasman, like
over 100
Tasmania,
years
I'm
before
guessing.
James Cook in
And James Cook, like the Cook
1770.
Islands.
However, the British took over the land, and decades later, New Holland became Terra Australis, and then
I'm guessing it's
Australia.
because also the
Abel Tasman
Australia,
got the
it's
island
because
nation.
the Austral territory, I'm guessing that's where the name comes from.
In Tasmania, named
Yeah,
after
Tasmania.
him. So, which of these facts sound like the craziest to you? Let me know down in the comments.
I do have to say the cockroach thing, that was surprising to me because I have a lot of questions. Even though cockroaches are quite disgusting, I want to know more about it, But that was really weird, and it left me thinking a lot of things. Like for instance, what do cockroaches eat? And not only that, but also, like, how do they mark them? Because if it's a race, like you how do you know that's your cockroach? Like, do you have to paint the cockroach and you have to put, or you have to put like a little tag? And how do you put a tag on a cockroach? I'm curious, and I want to see that. I would like to say that I would like to research, but it's so disgusting, and cockroaches disgust me so much that I won't, because I don't like it. So it gives me the creeps, so I won't. But I want to know more about them. And I also love the fact that they sort of like created, because the whole nickname thing. I know that people like do make fun of Australians because they have like, oh, they have funny accents, but and the words, of course, because everything is sort of like, I want to say abbreviated, but it's not abbreviated per se. It's just sort of like they actually do create a lot of words. So they have their own like language, their whole separate language, which I love. But everything sounds very like cute. I know that up to a certain point, obviously, every country has its own like vocabulary, but it's very like funny. It's almost like a dialect, and I love it. And yeah, and please don't eat kangaroo meat. It's so sad. It makes me sad. But that was really interesting and very fun. And I'll see you next time. Bye.